So one of the things I really looked forward to when going into private practice was the idea that I would have more freedom over my time. And right now I'm just hanging out, eating lunch, taking a little bit of a break. And yeah, I just wanted to do, I'm doing more of these kind of videos where I just kind of take you along during my day or give you a little snippet. So I'm just, it's about, what time is it? It's about 12:15. I'm in New York City. And today, yeah, I mean, I was just kind of thinking as I sat here eating lunch that I do eat lunch almost every single day, but it's actually really hard for me to set the time aside. I know one thing I thought a lot about before starting private practice is something that's kind of glorified, I feel like, is this idea that, you'll have complete freedom over your time. You'll be able to take a lunch break, you can do chores and all that. And to some degree, that's true. But one thing I found as now I've been doing it for a while is that I don't often prioritize this kind of time, lunch breaks and other time as well. And in particular, the lunch break, I'm thinking about it as I eat my lunch. It's a salad, by the way, if you could not tell. One thing I was thinking about is how important it is to take these lunch breaks, right? I think we often get caught up in the desire to be productive. Maybe we have a big caseload and it could be really hard to find the time. That's possible. One thing that's been happening to me a lot is although sometimes the work can be hard, the administrative work, running a group practice, that kind of stuff, I often find myself like, I enjoy it. Overall, I really like the work I do, both the administrative work with my therapist and also with my client. So I don't often want to like step back. It feels like I'm kind of missing the work I could be doing, or I'm not, as productive as I could be if I eat lunch. But I found that making that a pattern where I don't block off time to eat lunch, and I'm talking about specifically like blocking off time, right? Like I can eat at my desk while I write notes or, do things like that. But I think it's really important to kind of like sit down and have your lunch. And even if it's for 10, 15 minutes, not everyone can do a full hour or whatever, but just kind of blocking out that time, although it's not productive in the sense that, I'm writing a note or seeing a client, it's productive in the sense that I'm being recharged, at least for the rest of the day, or maybe even for the next hour, right? I find that this time, when blocked off, it really helps, even if it's small, So I think getting into a pattern of blocking off time for lunch, kind of some self-care in that regard, that can be really, really helpful. I don't know. These are just some of my thoughts as I sit here eating my salad, but we don't, I don't know. In private practice, we talk about this idea that, it's going to be so easy. I can just do things when I want. Time is my own. But I think the thing I really found interesting for myself was I like it so much, right? And I feel like because it's my own business, I have more ownership over my time, and I want to work with my clients. I want to do things to make the business better. Whereas if you're at an agency or something like that, sometimes you just like can't wait to have lunch break, right? Or it's kind of built into your day or something like that. So I think that's something we don't touch on that. So like once you're in the midst of private practice, you start to realize that. And oftentimes I'm actually coaching people to work to take breaks as opposed to the other way around, right? To work more and take breaks less. I think in some ways that's kind of a cool issue to have. Other times it can be a legitimate issue. Anyway, these are just some of my thoughts as I eat lunch. I don't know. How about for you? It's different for everyone. Maybe you're someone who finds themselves taking too many breaks. I don't know. We all have different struggles in private practice, but I'd love to know what some of your issues are or your thoughts about this topic. So I'm back at my computer now. I finished my lunch. I've been doing a little bit of work. And I know I just kind of talked about the idea of blocking out time for lunch and things like that. The other thing I find really helpful, but also really difficult, if I'm being honest, is blocking out time to do what I would like to call like brainstorming, right? And so I don't just mean like brainstorming creative projects and things like that. But one thing I find is that when our schedules are kind of filled with clients, right? Or our schedules are filled with notes or that kind of thing, we don't have enough room or time to like work on things like, reading about new interventions or looking at the recent research or coming up with topic ideas or, making a video idea, or if you're a group practice owner, how do I, make the group practice better for my employees? But these things that are really important to think about, right? But we often don't have time. We might not even think that we need time for that. So one thing I've tried to get into the habit of, and again, I find it really hard because I'm like always trying to be quote unquote productive, and this kind of thing doesn't necessarily feel productive per se, but again, it is. I've been really trying to set aside time and to just have, half an hour, 45 minutes, to just kind of think about different things related to whether it be client work, right? If maybe I'm going to browse new workbooks, or I'm going to browse different worksheets, or maybe group practice stuff, and I'm going to think about new ways for improving, my employees' experience, or, new ways to train this or that. You kind of get the point. But I was realizing, like, without that set aside time, it just never would happen, because I was kind of just packing my time with other things. Anyway, I mean, I think it just some random thoughts. I'm working today, and I wanted to share that with you guys. And I'm not sure what your process is for that. Maybe, I don't know, do you set aside time? How do you do it? Do you not? I don't know. So for me, it's been really helpful. And actually, the way I do it is on Google Calendar. I like to use Google. I just actually every Sunday, I usually look at my calendar, just kind of like plug things in and see what my week looks like. And then one thing I've been trying to add in is a block of time for this kind of brainstorming. And that's been really helpful, at least so far. We'll see if it continues to work. Just some of my raw thoughts for today. All right. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.